Okay, guest number 3 tonight is dual Mespy winner from Belleville East High School, Jonathan Rulo, who is co-football player and co-wrestler of the year, a very athletic and talented young man, and he is in the studio with his dynamic coach, Michael Harrison Jr. But before we get to these guys, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Metro East on the Illinois or the Missouri side, please give our partners at Keller Williams Marquis, Jeb and Ginger Blassingame, the chance to serve you. They have offices in O'Fallon and Edwardsville with more than 165 agents. The Blassingames are a family-owned business that has helped over 11,000 families find just the right home. The Lipes are one of those families. Jeb and Ginger sold our house super fast because they're experts at staging and pricing, and they helped us find the perfect home, and they can do the same for you. No wonder they've been ranked in the top 10 real estate teams in North America. Give Jeb and Ginger Blassingame a call at 618-578-9276 or check them out online at blassinggamegroup.com. You will not be disappointed. Are you a golfer?
Nah.
That's one sport you haven't mastered yet. You're going to be like Bo Jackson. You're gonna be awesome at golf too one day.
Yeah.
Located northeast of Edwardsville, Oak Brook Golf Club is a family-owned 27-hole public golf facility. You a golfer?
Oh, yeah. Avid. Yeah.
You good at it? I bet you are.
I like to think I'm okay.
Their goal is to offer the highest quality golf experience for a reasonable fee. Oak Brook is consistently recognized for awards such as Friendliest Staff, Best Course to Host a Fundraiser, and Best Senior Scramble in the bi-state area. From fundraisers to leagues to instruction to an afternoon out on the links by yourself or with your friends, the Brook wants to win your business. I've personally played and hosted multiple golf scrambles there. I've lost hundreds of balls there, and I promise you, Mike Surrey and his staff are the best. To book your next tee time or to start organizing your next fundraising scramble, give them a call at 656-5600 or check them out online at oakbrookgc.com. All right, Coach, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Hey, thank you for having us on again, man. I appreciate it.
Well, you got a special athlete over here.
Yeah, Jonathan, we call him Juice, but Jonathan's
Juice.
a stud,
Yeah.
man. He's a real deal.
How long have they been calling you Juice?
Originally it started off as Juicy, but as you get older, some
Drop
things
the Y.
change. You drop the Y,
Were you juicy at home when you were a little kid, like a little tiny kid?
Yeah.
You've been juicy forever.
Yeah, really. But as you get older, you just drop the Y at the,
Yeah.
Juice.
So it's Juice now, but I've probably been that for a couple years now.
Okay. Describe your season, Coach. We'll get to Jonathan here for a second.
Yeah. We knew coming into last season it was going to be a rebuilding year for us. We graduated, 30 seniors the year before. Playoff team, won a first-round game the year before. So we knew coming in that it was going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year. We were young all across the board and really got off to a decent start. Playing in the Southwestern Conference, playing our schedule. There's going to be some games that you just know going in is going to be tough. It was frustrating at the end of the year until about a week out. I looked back on the season and I said, man, we lost to, 2 teams that won a state championship and the third team that lost to the playoffs as well. So, when you look at it that way, we lose to Altoff, who wins the state championship, East St. Louis, who wins the state championship, Loyola, who wins the state championship. Again, we're competing with the right people. So, a little bit of ways removed from it, I can look back and say it was a good year. We again, being that we were young last year, we returned a bunch of the pieces coming back, both of the quarterbacks that played, everybody in the backfield, the receiving crew comes back. Obviously, we lose, Mr. Moody and Keithan Jones, who were studs for us, but defensively, we bring a bunch back. So I think it was a stepping stone for what this season is going to be for us. We got really high expectations coming into this year and excited to get rolling. If
you are rebuilding and you are 6-4 overall and 3-2 in the Southwestern Conference, that's a pretty good rebuilding year. That's not a real low year.
No, well, and again, I think, to our kids' credit, that's become the expectation for us. When I got there, we took over the program. It was all about getting back to, a respectable level, making playoffs a reality. now going into the year, we know we're going to make the playoffs. We know we're going to compete in the conference. It's a matter of like figuring out how we got to take this next step, win the next couple of games, be able to go deep into the playoffs. So, yeah, like you said, 3-2 in the Southwestern Conference, 6-4 on a year, losing in the playoffs.
It's
That's
not
not
bad.
bad.
Conference.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember about this season, about this football season? Because we got a lot of wrestling to talk about too. When you're a stud in two sports, we got to unpack both. But what do you remember from this football season?
Going into our season, like Coach said, we knew a lot of our games were going to be a dogfight, especially having our schedule. Really started off a little bit bumpy. We had some good wins, took some L's. But I think it was a matter of us, getting back in our groove, working, doing what we do best, running the plays that work for us and not trying like 30 different plays, running what we do. He preaches that a lot. He preaches working on what we know, not what other people know. Don't try to follow everybody else, do what we do best, play Lancer football. I'd say our season was pretty good. Like he said, all of our losses were to pretty good teams, Loyola, Eastside, Altoff, 3 state championship teams. But, like you said, we were young. We got a lot of guys coming back, like Beeman, both of our quarterbacks. Defensive side, you got me, you got Ryan Hunt, BJ, you got Jordan, Kari Willis. A lot of guys coming back, and I feel like next year we'll definitely be better.
Where do you like to line up on the defensive side of the ball? Because you could play in the middle. You're listed as a nose guard sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they could put you on the edge. And I know you've played some linebacker. So where do you like to play?
I definitely like the edge. I like the edge a lot. I'm able to move more. I tell them a lot I like the edge. But for the team, I feel like I'm better inside. So I normally play a lot of inside because that's like where I best fit the team. But definitely like games that we were winning and I like to move outside, I definitely love the edge more.
Because you try to move him around a little bit in situations.
Because people know he's coming.
Oh, absolutely.
He's not a secret anymore.
No,
he's still a young man. You're only a junior,
which
I think is really impressive what you've been able to do. And you still got 25% of your high school career left.
Yeah,
maybe
crazy when you say it like that.
Best part, because
sure.
you're going to be more athletic, bigger, faster, stronger next year than you've ever been. So, the best is yet to come for this dude. So how do you – other teams know that he's just a beast, and they're going to double team him, triple team him. So what do you do?
Well, it's a lot like you said. A little bit of it is figuring out for us where we need him, as opposed to figuring out how to put him in the best situation possible too. So, again, a lot like you said on the defensive side of the ball, we try to put him in the middle so teams can't truly run away from him. We try to create mismatches on defense where they can't double team him, or if they choose to double team him, then they're leaving somebody, one-on-one or somebody totally unblocked. So, Coach Zergel, and then you had him on the show. He's our flag coach, but he's our defensive coordinator. He does a really good job putting Juice in situations where he could be successful. And then we got to throw him a bone every now and then and let him line up on the outside. Every now and then,
like a rabid dog.
Every now and then, the head coach tries to give him the ball to keep him happy. So,
oh really? So you hand the ball to him too.
He had a couple of carries for us this year. He had a big touchdown. Had a big 4th down conversion against Edwardsville. I think we scored against
West.
Belleville West. So we treat him as long as he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Like the fridge.
Oh, like the fridge. That's right.
And you love getting the
love it. I love it, man. Honestly, I do.
Does he ever line up? Do you ever line up in the backfield as a blocking back?
Yeah, I have. I did this year. I think Altoff and Eastside.
Yeah.
Okay. I lined up just a block back there. Yeah.
Okay. First team All-State co-player of the year, along with another stud defensive kid in Yosei Epinesa. Yep. So I think the Metro East had some really fantastic defensive players this year.
Absolutely.
And you're getting offers now as a junior already. Who are some of the schools that you're thinking about?
Really, I've been in contact with Iowa a lot. Yosei just went there. He committed there.
Yeah.
Illinois is heavy. Kent State, Miami, Ohio recently just offered. Kent State just offered. Wyoming, and there's a couple more.
So a lot of you're getting a lot of attention right now from football. Okay, well, what's it like coaching this kid in football? You got to grin every time you look at him.
Yeah, man. He showed up on our campus 2-3 years ago. We were in the middle of that rebuild. Things were going well. We had Anthony Cunningham was a senior at that time. And Anthony was getting recruited at that same level. And so I think for Rulo for him to be able to compete against Cunningham, to see what it was like, and then for me to just be able to watch that, right, and watch a freshman go against a senior who is a Division I BCS kind of kid, it was fun and exciting. I think for him, that opened up his idea and opened up his eyes as to what it could be and what it took to play high school football. And so as a freshman, I mean, he's one of the few guys. You see some wide receivers that can play right away. Every now and then you may get a running back but to find an offense or a defensive lineman that can play as a freshman in the Southwestern Conference, like, that's rare. And he was able to do that as a freshman, came in, contributed, again, started getting those all-conference, recognition and awards.
So he's a 3-year starter for you.
He's been a 3-year starter for us. He'll be a 4-year starter on both sides of the football. It's easy. I honestly, I tell this all the time. We spend most of the time coaching all the other guys. Like, I'll have to, again, Juice gets frustrated with me at practice because I'm like, hey, Juice, come, you got to play offense because if you're playing defense, we can't get anything done. Hey, Juice, I know I tell you not to take it easy, but I need you to take it easy on this play so we could try to get something else done with the rest of the guys.
I'll make the play at practice. You look over at me, give me that look, and I'm like, yeah, let me slow down for these other guys.
So, no, it is a lot of fun because he's not a kid that I ever have to tell him, hey, you need to turn it up. I never have to tell him to work hard. I never have to worry about if he's doing the right thing. And then for the other guys, he's an example because I don't have to say anything. I just point to him, and they know right away, like, okay, let me,
team leader, team captain, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, great kid, team leader, team captain. Again, he's one of those guys where he came in as a freshman and just, again, did everything he was supposed to do, followed those other guys. But then once you do that, and once guys see you having success, whether you wanted to or not, they're going to turn and look at you and follow you. And for him, he stepped right into that leadership role. Again, he's a positive guy, so he's not a guy that's going to yell and scream at guys when they mess up. He just comes over, talks to them one-on-one, make sure they understand what our level of expectation and what our standard is at Belleville East. And then after that, it's all fun and games.
I think the vibe that I get from you is football is fun.
Yeah, definitely. Football is definitely fun. I try not to think about it too much. Like, when I step on the field, I just try to play, have the most fun as I can on the field, really.
Say play football pre-high school?
Yeah, actually. I played for the East St. Louis Junior Flyers. Played for them for till I was, say, about 11. And then I transferred over to St. Louis Bad Boys in St. Louis. Yeah, I played for them, and then now I'm at East.
Have you always been a dominant football kid, even when you were younger, when you were a little kid? Were you always throwing other kids around?
Yeah, I was always that big bully, that kid on the field,
so,
throwing people around.
I got to tell a story, and I don't even know if I've ever told him this before, but again, youth football, so they had to be probably, you probably were 8, 8 or 9, and he's obviously like the biggest kid, but even back then, not only is he the biggest, he's the strongest, he's the fastest. And so I go to a game at 8 years old. I go to a game, and I want to say you guys were playing at O'Fallon. Mm-hmm. And literally, like, he's playing defense. The other 8-year-old kid gets the ball. He runs about 3 steps to the right. He sees Juice coming, stops, turns around, and starts running backwards. And, everybody's screaming, no. And he's like, he throws the ball on the ground, walks out the field. Coach, I'm not going back in. And I'm like, again, I'm the high school coach. I'm looking like, it's high school, it's an 8-year-old game. I'm like, hey, who is this? Who is this? And even back then, like I said, Juicy. Oh, that's Juicy. Juicy's on that team. Juicy. And so, again, I don't know if I ever told you that story, but yeah, man, he was a local legend back at, starting at 8 and 10-year youth football.
So you expected this success coming into high school?
Yeah, pretty much.
You expected to start?
I wouldn't say expected to start. Like, I knew I would have to put the work in to start. But, like, in my mind, I had the mentality that, I was going to start by freshman year, or at least be in the starting lineup rotation by then.
Okay. Anything else we got to talk about? Because we still have to talk. We still have a ton of wrestling to talk about.
For sure. No,
how good can he be? Football.
I think the sky's the limit. I've never seen, and I tell the college coaches as they're coming through as well, more times than not, when you get a kid in high school, a lineman, he's missing one of the things, right? He's either big and strong, but he's not quite twitchy enough. Or he's twitchy, but he's a little undersized, and they worry about putting weight on him. With this kid, Jonathan Rulo, man, he showed up on campus and he had all the tools, all the pieces. You know, if there's any negative, and you know, I think I've told him this 100 times, he's heard it. He's not 6'4", right? He's not gonna be 6'4", but he's long. He's got long arms.
How tall are you?
Max Prep says 6'2".
Yeah, there we go.
Max Prep says 6'2". Lindenwood told me 6'3".
Yeah.
So hey, I just dealt off what the coaches tell me.
Well,
So.
I'm 6 feet tall, and you're
discernibly
discernibly taller than I am.
He's not short. He's not small. When you shake,
He's not Doug Flutie.
When you shake his hand, his hand swallows you. You know, and then at the same time, he can go out and do a flip and roll around on.
Okay.
You know, you watch him on the wrestling mat, and he's as twitchy as you can find him. So I think the sky's the limit. Obviously, he's got to keep working hard and keep doing the right things. But I think he's going to be a name that you hear about and that you watch play whatever sport he decides
How
for a
awesome
long time.
that he's the complete package athletically, and then he's a great kid.
And he's a great kid.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, I gotta pay a few bills here. Yep. All right, Andy Callaway of Callaway Home Loans saves me money every month now, and he'll save my family thousands in the long run. How? He refinanced my existing mortgage, and he can do the same for you. Rates are all over the place, but you need to take advantage of an easy, fast, and affordable way to refinance. They do conventional FHA and VA loans, and ask for the Metro Esports Podcast special. If you refi with Andy, he will donate $500 to the Metro East high school or junior high team of your choice. He'll give $500 to Belleville West Maroon football. Is that what you want?
No, not at all. Not at all.
He'll give $500 to Edwardsville football. You want that?
We can't do that either.
He'll give $500 to Belleville East Lancer football, people. All you got to do is refi with Andy. If you're going to buy a house, refi with Andy. The Lancers will get $500. That'll feed Rulo for like 2 days. Think about it, people. Terms and conditions apply. But call Andy today at 618-830-3332. Save money and support your favorite team in the Metro East. All right. Well, man, we still got a lot. I'm going to say one more thing about football before we go on to talk about wrestling. I think you are going to be one of, if not the most highly recruited athletes next year in the Metro East.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
I would agree.
You agree with that?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, and again, it's the Southwestern Conference, so we got dudes everywhere. You know,
East St. Louis is going to have several guys.
Yep. Nick over at Belleville West. Hankins is one of those guys right now. That's exploding in this class, but everybody that comes to town, and we talk about this all the time. Like, you don't come to the Metro East, you don't come to town and only visit one.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're coming into town to see Juice,
but
you're gonna go see Nick.
He's must see.
He's must see.
He's going to be at the top of a lot of lists.
And so far, everybody, I mean, literally everybody under the sun, Oregon, you know, to Vanderbilt, to Wisconsin, to Penn State.
And they're going to keep coming. That's what I'm saying.
And they're going to keep coming.
How are you going to stay grounded? Everybody coming through? Because there's NIL. It's NIL time now,
we were just talking about that
because
on the
now
on the
they're
ride
going to be
up.
able to say, hey, you know, whereas before they might.
It was a little different. Yeah, it was a little different.
It was different.
It was different.
So how are you going to stay grounded?
Well, really, just I hear everybody out, see what they got to say, and then from there, really just weigh my options. Really just weigh my options after they come through, hear them out. Really just one of the big things, see where fits me best. Like at the end of the day, NIL, a lot of kids are in it for the money, but I'm really, I'm really in for the fun of the sport. I love football, so that's really.
I was gonna say, not to interrupt him either, but he's got great people around him. His mom and dad are the real deal. You know what I mean? They don't let him get out of line.
And he's got you
get too far around.
And you got Coach.
Yeah, and he's got Coach Riley. Yeah. He's got great people around him.
He's
got a
you.
good head on his shoulders, man.
He's got you.
I don't know about that, but he's
one of those guys who aren't gonna throw himself out there as part of it. It's the same thing with Riley. They don't want to take blame for what they don't want to take accountability, credit for all the work that they put into me. So you got to give it to him.
But he's in your corner.
Definitely.
And he's going to give you good advice. He's going to help you do what's best for you.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to your parents too. Okay, I can tell they raised a great young man. Okay, so you're not just a first team All-State football player. You are also a state champion wrestler.
Yes, sir.
And so the first male state champion wrestler at Belleville East, because they had a female.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Even more impressive than that, and again, he won't tell you. He is the reigning 3-time, whatever, and again, I'm going to mess it up, but he's won the national champion, 16U,
16U.
and national champion, Triple Crown winner. And he's already won
First part of junior.
the first part of junior national champion too. So he's as good of a football player he is. And again, I know if he wants to hear it all the time, but as good of a football player he is, he's a better wrestler.
You think he's a better wrestler?
He's a better wrestler.
You agree with that?
It's kind of hard not to, looking at the resume that I have built, but definitely, I like to think of them equal. I like to say I'm equal at both of them. I don't like to put one above the other. So.
And your favorite one should be whichever one you're playing.
Yeah.
If it's football season, I had a roommate that was an All-American soccer and tennis player. People would ask him which one you like better, and he'd say, whichever one I'm playing. I thought that was the perfect answer.
That's a great answer.
And so now you're in your off season, so you can focus on both of them somewhat. You're wrestling right now.
Yeah, you're ready for nationals right now. Yeah.
Okay, so you started playing football as a little kid. How old were you when you started wrestling?
I started wrestling first, actually. I was about 4 or 5 when I started wrestling. I always grew up around it. My older cousin wrestled, so I always grew up around him and his friends wrestling. So I started wrestling and then transitioned over to football probably about 6 or 7. So,
is it fun? Also, it's a different kind of sport. It's a different kind of fun.
Yeah, definitely. There's days that I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. Why did I sign up for this? But there's also days that you're in there having fun, beating up on kids. That's probably the best part about it, to beat up on kids, really.
But there's also that, I don't want to be here. This is tough. I'm not sure I can do this. And then you do it.
Yeah.
And then there's that post effect where it's like, I got through this. Yeah. That's part of the allure,
yeah,
right?
Definitely. That builds a lot of character in some people, being able to complete the difficult task at hand and finishing through. Like some days at practice, we do these things called monkey rows at the end of practice. You're beat up, tore out. You don't really want to do it, but you just got to push through it. You finish it, and then you're like, oh, I finished it. That feels good. You needed that.
Take me through this wrestling season. Going into it, was it a goal of yours to win state at 285?
Definitely was. It wasn't. The question on the table wasn't like from when I started high school. It wasn't like, am I gonna win state? It was win. Like I knew I was gonna win. 1, 2, at least 2. Freshman year coming in, I choked. I like to say, I say it like that. I choked the finals. Last year, upset semis. But this year,
you got third last year though, right?
Yeah, I lost in semis.
Okay, so second, third, and first are your 3 finishes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Coming in this year, I really just had the mindset of revenge. That's really what my mindset was. Really, just no losses at all. Just coming in, taking what's mine. I always told myself at the beginning of the season, I was like, you want it, gotta go take it. Nothing's gonna be handed to you. If it's yours, go take it.
Is it hard to go into wrestling season hungry and feeling good after a tough football season?
Definitely is. Especially, I tell people this a lot. Football shape and wrestling shape are 2 different things. It's definitely hard when having that hungriness, coming from a different football season like that. But I just feel like you gotta want it. If you want it that bad, it's not gonna be that bad. Like you're gonna be able to come in and accomplish what you want to accomplish if you really want it.
What were the matches this year that you'll remember for a long time?
The matches this year that I really remember, I know the kid who was second, who ranked second below me this year. That match, people thought that was gonna be a real good match at the beginning of the year. We were at the toughest tournament in the state, Dvorak. That match ended up being 30 seconds. Ended up winning me.
You pinned him in 30 seconds?
Pinned him in 30 seconds. It was, yeah.
And he was ranked second and you were ranked first?
Yeah. So everybody thought that was going to be a good match.
But they were wrong.
Yeah. Another good match I had, I'd probably say I wrestled my semis match at state against Tyler Fortis. That was a real good match. I ended up going to the third with him. That was probably one of my longest matches this season. And then I wrestled that same William kid that was number 2. I wrestled him in the finals. So I say that was probably a better match than the first time we wrestled, but it was definitely a good one to remember.
Do you look forward to wrestling the better wrestlers? I mean, you destroy so many people during a season that I would think sometimes you may actually get bored.
If Riley was here, he'd probably have a lot to say about that. But I wouldn't say you're bored. It's just you take matches like that to work on the small things, honestly. Wrestling, I really do. I do look forward to wrestling the good kids. You know, it puts you in a different mindset going into the match other than like, oh, I know I'm going to win this. It's a mindset of like, who has that dog, more, really? Mm-hmm. Who wants it more? So I really look forward into wrestling those good kids because it's like, I really like to test myself. So it's like, puts me in a position to, see how good I really am.
What is your greatest strength as a wrestler? Why are you so good?
I tell people this a lot that ask me that same question. It has to be my speed. Like, most 285 kids that are 285 and big, they aren't as fast as I am. So I feel like that's a big advantage to me. And my leverage, I get way lower than a lot of those kids. So that's probably like the best, my best advantage.
Talk to me about your training. I've seen you bench pressing. You had up a few more plates than I can put up. I know you're shocked by that. But so you're lifting to get strong. What else are you doing to be a premier athlete?
Really, like you said, lifting. My lifting schedule varies. Like for like a month, I'm not as heavy. Then I'm right back into like my four sets of like 25 heavy lifts. Like on the wrestling side of it, I'm just in the room every day, in the room with my cousin and my teammates, getting better, perfecting that. Football wise, what days are our practices? Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Thursday.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesdays, lifting. Wednesdays, we're on the field, getting field work in, doing some drills, one-on-ones, getting us better.
I think the other piece, and again, he doesn't, he's modest, and I appreciate that, but just watching his level of commitment to be able to do both at such a high level. In the summer when it's not easy to do, when we show up for football practice, he's already got his wrestling workout in. So Coach Riley has already had him out on the track and on the field running, and then he'll come in straight from that and go to summer football practice. And so, again, he's modest, but just watching somebody, again, at such a young age, be as committed and willing to do some of that hard work, like you said. And again, I'm always impressed by wrestlers because that's a different, it's a different level. But watching
suffering,
for sure, and it just, again, you talk about that mental toughness that it develops. Again, I think all football players should do that, just because again, I think a lot of that crosses over. Some of the other stuff, that physicality and all those things, obviously are easy to be seen, but the mental toughness that it takes to wrestle, to be, you by yourself having to go in and compete against another guy that might be bigger or stronger or faster than you and still have to figure out a way to get it done. Those are some of those same things that translate to football. And so I watch him, and I'm always impressed by his willingness to put in the work.
Jason Dowell.
That was coming.
Why? Why did you know that was coming?
That's been one of the topics a lot this season. They were, everybody was asking why I didn't wrestle him the year before. Why haven't I wrestled him this year?
That's not my question.
Ooh.
That's not where I'm going.
Oh.
I'm not going there. I'm going to, here's a kid who is spectacular in both sports, who is wanting to continue both.
Yeah.
That's all I was going to say. I'm not going to compare you two. All I'm saying, because I don't do that. All I'm going to say is, there's one guy who was talking about doing both at the next level. Is that something that you're considering?
Really, I've had like time to think about that, and as of right now, the door is always open, like it's open still, but my focus is more on football at the moment. And like you said, Jason, I grew up with Jason, so I was always around him. We went to the same middle school, elementary school, so he's like the older brother than me, mentor.
And he's a great kid.
He's a great kid.
He's
guy.
fantastic.
Great guy. I actually just talked to him the other day. He's a great guy. I don't know if he's gonna do both. I don't know if he posted that or anything.
I think he's talked about going to Mizzou and doing both. That'd
be great for him.
When he was sitting where you are, that's what he said.
I hope he does. I love it for him. But me,
it's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Just knowing that, like, all the years I've done wrestling, just knowing the strain that it puts on your body, especially trying to do both at a collegiate level, I just know that'll be a lot. So
let's talk about a few goals. What are your goals for next year, for your final chapter as a Lancer? What are your goals? Football, wrestling, personally, academic, anything?
Football wise, coming in. Hopefully, everybody's goal, to win a state championship in football. But really just hoping to be able to come in and be a better leader for my team, lead us as deep as we can get, have a good, good playoff run, Wrestling wise, hopefully get another state championship, walk out there with two. But like I said, with football, come in, lead my team, be a good leader, be a good student. On the school side of things, just have a good school year, keep my GPA high, all that good stuff.
Collegiately, what are your goals?
Oh, it's something me and Coach Mike,
when you picture yourself going to college, what do you picture? Like, tell me about the success you picture when you picture yourself playing at the next level.
Honestly, picture myself, coming in. I wouldn't, not a lot of kids start, nobody really starts freshman year of college. But, I'm going to come in, like I said, like I came in high school, with the mentality, I'm going to get at least into the starting rotation. So that's definitely where I picture myself, no matter who I play for, just giving it my all, putting 100 into that team and leaving my mark in that team and hopefully making it to, the NFL level.
And that was my next question. Long-term goals. You see yourself in the league.
Yes, sir, definitely.
How long has that been a goal for you?
It's probably since I started football, honestly. That's where I want to be one day, set my family up for success, they say it's only about 5% of kids who actually make it, and I feel like I'm that 5%.
I feel like that too. What do you feel like?
Oh, yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, like I said, I for a kid to have the motivation, the focus, the determination, the work ethic, all of those things that are immeasurable, right? Anybody can look and see, oh, you're this height, you weigh this much, you run this fast. It's all those other things that you can't measure that Juice has that I'm sure are going to set him for success in whatever he does. Like I said, I mean, I know his goal is football and to go to the NFL, but again, if it's wrestling and I'm in my head, I want to see him in the Olympics one day.
Does he make you a better coach?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because again, it's really easy. It would be really easy to allow him to do whatever he wants to do and not correct him and not tell him, hey, you need to do this in order to be better. Hey, you need to do this in order to be your best version of yourself. For me, he makes me work every single day because I got to go in and I say, hey, again, it's easy to tell the kid who's not working hard he needs to work hard. But what do you tell the kid that is working hard? Right. What do you tell the kid that is already doing? So now I'm just really telling him, hey, you've been able to do it this way and have success. Hey, let's work on this so that when you get to the next level,
you're even better.
So yeah, he makes me a better coach. He obviously makes coaching football fun. Again, I can't say enough great things about him.
Any shout outs before you get out of here?
Yeah, shout out to all my my teammates. Those are the guys who really push me at practice. Every day. Whether it's me getting there on time, me leading warm ups, in practice, push me to go harder. No matter what sport it is, football or wrestling. And shout out to Coach Mike bringing me here today. Always been a good coach, pushing me. Like you said though, do I make him a better coach, but he also makes me a better player. Always fixing the small things about me. Telling me all the little things I mess up. How to get them right, correct them. And Rashad Riley, he's been there since I've known that guy since I've started wrestling. He's always been my coach. So he's like another second father to me, So shout out to him.
We need to get him on.
There.
We need to get him on here.
Definitely.
I think I had him on here before.
Yeah, you gotta get him again. He's done an outstanding job with the Belleville East wrestling program.
All right, I'm not going to wish you luck because you're not going to need it. You just keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Appreciate it.
Keep enjoying it congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
On this kid and all the success you've had. And it's going to be fun for you next year.
I hope so. We'll see. We got some work to do. We got some work to do.
You do. All right. Thank you all for listening to the Metro East Sports Podcast presented by Little Caesars Pizza. And big thanks to guests Kelsey Pickering, the Bunker Hill Middle School volleyball crowd, Coach Michael Harrison, Jonathan Rulo, for partners Cassens, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Callaway Home Loans, Keller Williams Marquee, Blasingame Group, Integrity Spine and Joint Center, Front Office, Fiduciary Network, Oakbrook Golf Club, Viviano Heating and Air Conditioning, Played Again Sports, Edwardsville, and Snap Mobile. And for my teammates, Social Media Director Kayla Kohlberg and Video Production Assistant Luke Slemmer, thank you for listening to the Metro East Sports Podcast, talking all things sports in the Metro East.